raise your hand if you are seeing me for the very first time. Okay, look around. Most people do not know me. That's brilliant. I can tell you all my old jokes. Now, today, as you prepare for a new year with new hopes and new sense of common purpose and probably an action plan, I thought I will give you a new perspective. A perspective for you to take a step back, take stock, and charge ahead. Before I do that, I need to clarify. Now, after winning the World Championship of Public Speaking, people ask me 3 questions. The first question, wherever I go, people say, at least the first time I went to Malaysia, someone said, "You don't look like a world champion." I said, "I worked so hard to be a world champion, now you're saying you don't look like a world champion." So I was curious, why do people say I don't look like a world champion? So I looked at the prize. When I won the world championship, the photo with the top 3 speakers in the world, and this is how the photo looked like. The guy on the left is the topmost speaker in the United Kingdom, and the guy on the right, the topmost speaker from the United States. And if you didn't notice, I'm the guy in the middle. So people are a bit worried because I'm a non-native speaker. I'm born in India. I have an accent. I'm an introvert. I'm shy. How could you become a world champion? So that's the first question. I realize they think I'm a world champion because I'm short. I don't know. Let me see. The second question I asked is, what do you do after you become world number 1? What do you do after you see you're good at something, you achieve something? What do you do next? Now, raise your hand if you have ever had a Nokia phone. Okay, look around the room. Most people have at least seen one. So 10 years to this date, almost close to 10 years to this date, there was an article in the Forbes magazine. And this is what the article said. This is the date 2007, November. And this is what it said. 1 billion customer, can anyone catch the cell phone king? And now raise your hand if you still have a Nokia phone. No. So that's what the disruption the previous speaker was speaking about. But the anecdote to this, most people do not realize is, during this time in 2007, there was a executive board meeting in Nokia headquarters, and the iPhone was recently launched. So one board member flew in the iPhone from US and brought it to the board meeting and said, "Look, there's a competition for our product." And Nokia was already developing a smartphone at that time, which could have competed with the new iPhone, but that was one of the lowest selling products. They didn't really work on it. So they said, we need to catch up. The top management looked at the iPhone and said, "Good, but what is their market share?" You see, you don't know what is going to disrupt you. It doesn't matter how good you are, you need to get to the next level. So my question to you is, how ready are you for your next level? Do you know what's your next level? And if you know how ready are you for that? Now, this is what I think most people spend an year. They're sitting on the fence thinking, what should I do? Maybe I need to start a new business. Maybe I should write a book. And what happens in between as you wait is what is called time. And as time goes over, and raise your hand if you ever written a plan for a year, like a list of things you need to do, resolution, yes, we all do that. What I used to do is I write a resolution at the end of the year, I copy it over to the next year. Just change the date, it keeps on going. So what I challenge you to do is do not plan for 2018, but take a long-term view. I ask you, what is your mission 2020? And you don't have to answer me now. It's not an easy answer. Take a long-term view. And I'm going to help you achieve that. So basically what you need is focus, productivity, and momentum. And the time I'm given here to speak today is not enough to cover this. What I thought I will do is I'll give a free webinar. I'll organize it as an online webinar, and you can attend this. You can just register, take down the website, readyfornextlevel.com. Basically, take a long-term view of what you can achieve. You see, I was a nervous speaker. 2011 or 2012, I decided that I will be the world champion of public speaking. At that time, I had not spoken to a crowd more than 20, right? And I was nervous to speak, and a lot of things were going on. But I went on stage, and I realized this is a skill anyone can master, but that was my goal. But now I have bigger goals as well. So take a look, and I'll call you for the webinar where I'll help you. And the third question people ask me, because I'm a leadership coach and it's called a next level leadership expert, is how do you become a leader others admire and follow? No matter where you are at work, whether you're running a business or you want to be seen as a social leader. How does it work? See, my experience in leadership got me to in one-on-one with a lot of people around the world. Some of them really high-profile people. And as I coached them, I was learning from them. And I'm learning from their journeys, their experiences, and their stories. And this is what I noticed. There are two types of leaders. The first type is what we call leaders by birth. These are people, you drop them in your group, they emerge as a leader. Do you know people like that who are naturally born leaders? Raise your hand if you know someone. Yes? Now the question is, what if you do not have those skills? How can you be seen as a leader in your domain, in your industry, or in your company? What do you need to do? Is it even possible? Fortunately, most leaders I saw, they never thought they will be leaders. They picked up some skills, traits, and talents that they build on to become a leader. These are what I call, they're not born with any skills, but they build up their skills. These are what I call leaders by design. Now the question is, if you can be a leader by design in your domain, in your industry, or in your organization, what do you need to do? To explain this, I'll tell you a story. And as you listen to this story, think about your life, think about your life experiences, think about the people you have met in your life, and try to predict what are the lessons. Would you be able to do that? It's a very short story. And this is a story. The story is called the mousetrap. Long, long time ago, there lived a poor farmer. And the poor farmer was living in a small hut with his wife. One day, the poor farmer bought a mousetrap. Now the mouse of the house, he looked out of the mouse hole and he got terrified. He said, "Alamak, there's a mousetrap in the house." He got panicky, he ran out of the house where he met the hen, the goat, and the cow. He went to the hen and said, "Hen, hen, there's a mousetrap in the house, there's a mousetrap in the house." And the hen said, "Why are you telling me this? This is not my problem. Go away." So he went to the goat. I'm not calling you the goat. It's a story. The goat, there's a mousetrap in the house, there's a mousetrap in the house. The goat said, "Don't disturb me, go away, it's not my problem." So the mouse went to the cow and said, "Cow, cow, holy cow, there's a mousetrap in the house, there's a mousetrap in the house." The cow said, "Have you ever heard a cow being trapped in a mousetrap? This is not my problem, go away." So ladies and gentlemen, there was a mousetrap in the house. Everyone heard about it. Most of them ignored it because it was not their problem. That night something happened. Bang! Something got trapped in the mousetrap. And the farmer's wife was so happy, she sprang up from her bed and she said, "Wow, finally I got the mouse." And she ran into the kitchen. But it was pitch dark. She couldn't see a thing. And she stooped down to pick up the mouse. But it was not a mouse that was trapped in the mousetrap. It was a snake. The snake bit the farmer's wife and she yelled in pain, and the farmer came running in to kill the snake. But the damage was already done. The farmer's wife fell ill and she was high fever. So now, what's a good medicine for high fever? Don't say Panadol. So the poor farmer slaughtered the hen and fed his wife with chicken soup. Next day, news spread. Friends and family came to visit the farmer's wife. And to feed them, the poor farmer slaughtered the goat. Unfortunately, 2 days later, the poor farmer's wife passed away. And the entire village came for the funeral. And so what did the farmer do? What? Did I say I'm from India? I cannot allowed to kill the cow. So the poor farmer sold the cow, took the money, and met the funeral expenses. Now, the farmer was very sad and disappointed that because of his stupid decision to buy the mousetrap, his entire source of livelihood was wiped out. And he became very sad and depressed and dejected. And 3 months later, the poor farmer passed away. That's the end of the story. Now the question is, what are the lessons? Yes? Just give it a shot. Yes, sir. Yeah. You never know what's coming, yes? What else? Okay. So someone alerted the danger, yes? It's everybody's problem. What else? It's interesting, where I ask this question, I get a different answer. I ask this question, actually I go around the world as a speaker. So I speak in the US and someone says, you need to change the light bulb in the kitchen. When I go to Indonesia, where someone said, never marry a hyperactive wife. So it depends on where you ask the question, you get a different answer. What I've done is, I have derived 18 leadership lessons from the mousetrap. This is the 18 lessons. In fact, I got so fascinated by this topic of simplifying leadership. I even wrote a book called Mastering Leadership, the Mousetrap Way. I'll tell you more about that. So now we don't have much time, so I'm just going to focus on certain things, certain lessons, which you can take it and apply right away. Will that helpful for you? Say yes? Okay. So this is one. You see, whenever a problem appears, whether it's artificial intelligence or disruption, you hear all these things now, every problem has both a risk and an opportunity. Risk and opportunity. So in this, the trap is the risk and the cheese is the opportunity. And whenever a problem happens somewhere, no matter how remote, no matter how insignificant, it has a potential to affect us. Let's not ignore that. Whether it's in your team, in your organization, in your industry, in your small business, whenever there's a problem, it's not a problem to be ignored, because when you're in a team, somebody's problem is everybody's problem. Somebody's problem is everybody's problem. So see, when the problem first appeared, it didn't look like a problem for the hen, the goat, or the cow. In the end, it affected the hen, the goat, and the cow. And that's how problems appear. So you need to, for the first lesson I want to highlight is this concept of ownership. People who take ownership are those who lead to leadership, because ownership is the habit that leads to leadership. So this is the one essential step for being seen as a leader. You need to be seen as someone who is taking ownership. And how does that work? So if you are running a business, you are not just running a business, you are taking ownership of a problem that you are helping to solve. That's how you take the first step to dominate your industry. Now, the key is to take directive without initiative. Take initiative without directive. At least you're listening. Now, this is the key. If you're working in an organization, if you want to go to the next level, you need to be seen as someone who takes ownership and someone who is taking initiative without directive. So you're not waiting for someone to tell you what to do. If you're waiting for that, you're not a leader, you are a follower. Now, in your contexts are different. In your context of your operation, in the things you do, are you seen as a cleaner at your job or at your organization, or whatever you do? Cleaner as in you just do the job. Somebody asks you to do, you'll put on more hours and get things. By the way, nothing wrong with doing the job. Work is dignity, okay? Just giving an example. Second, are you seen as a doctor? That is, when some problem comes, you're the specialist, someone comes to ask you for advice. And you solve it, and it's good. Or are you seen as a leader? That's something to think about. Again, work is dignity, okay? I'm not comparing the different jobs. So what do you want to be? And how do you dominate, or how do you be seen as a leader others admire and follow? Dominate is not in a negative context. It's been to you're the most visible person in that domain. Okay. Ask yourself, what mousetraps do you see? What problems do you see what nobody is taking action? That's the opportunity to take leadership. Whatever it is. Yesterday, a lady came to me because I do a lot of one-on-one coaching. She said, I'm going to lead. I want to solve the problem of sexual harassment at workplace. Fine. I said, who are you waiting for? Take charge. Right? Nobody is going to appoint you as leader. You need to find a problem and take leadership. Okay. The question to ask, raise your hand if you're running a business. You're owning a business? Yes? Ask yourself, not what are you doing, what problems are you solving? A lot of business people with ideas who come to me to develop their pitch. Ask them, it's not about, everybody has ideas. In the room, if you ask me, everybody has an idea. But the core is not what problem are you solving. That's your starting point. Yeah? Okay. Now, in the next question, what did the mouse do when he saw the mousetrap? Yes? What did he do? He broadcast? Yes? Panic? Any other answer? Okay, I think that's panic. You see, when there's a problem, if you panic, nobody would want to near you. Everyone will want to avoid you. A time of crisis is not a time to panic. It's time to be calm, relaxed, and it is a time to communicate. So the second lesson I want to highlight is confidence. Competence is important, but confidence is paramount. If you want to take leadership on anything of any sort, it doesn't matter how competent you are. It is important, but the essential thing is confidence. If you see people chasing degrees after degrees, certificates after certification, trophies after trophy, it doesn't matter unless you build on your confidence. So if you want to take leadership, if you want to be seen as a leader, you need to have the confidence that your cause is significant, your talent is sufficient, and your time has come. Because if you keep waiting for your right time, right opportunity, someone would have taken that opportunity and gone ahead with it, right? So confidence, work on your confidence. Okay, so one of the resolutions I made last year was to live without fear this year. That means whenever I am afraid to do something, I ask myself, am I afraid? So so this is a very, very important thing I do. So consider, what are you afraid of? What actions are you not taking because you are not confident, okay? Now, why couldn't the mouse convince others to help him? Okay, the problem and not a solution, yes? Someone here said something. They didn't see benefits. Great answers. What else? Relevance. What relevance of? Brilliant. So this is very critical. It's not only you speak up, it's also how you convince others. And this is very important. So, okay, you know I'm like a speaker, world chairman of public speaking, so a lot of people ask me about communication, leadership, lot sorts of things. I say, everyone has an idea. Idea is worthless until you know how to propagate it. So what I call is ideas infusion. Generating ideas is not enough. You need to infuse ideas. By infuse ideas, what I mean is you take an idea, plant it on somebody's head, few people, then they spread the idea for you. That's essential. If you are running business, and if you want to market it, if you want to take it forward, and this is essential, key. I've spoken to one of the top CEOs in Asia, and one of the things he said is, what I do is I recruit people, I have a vision, I make them buy my vision, and they become ambassadors for my vision, and that's how I spread it. This is very essential. This is essential if we do this. And so what are some of the skills in this? This is a very big topic, and I'm just going to just touch upon it, okay? Very good. There are only 3 ways to communicate. You want to guess what are the 3 ways to communicate? You can tell, or you can yell. That is, you're shouting and screaming and telling people, oh, parents, and anyone know your parents? Are you a parent? Yeah, okay, a few of them. So, so tell, yell, and what would be the third one? Sell. So that's where you said all the benefits and taking the other person's perspective. Very essential. So you form that in your mind before you open your mouth. Okay, opening your mouth is very important. Speaking up is important, but also how you say it is also important. Okay. So recently I was interviewed on BBC World News, which is broadcast around the world, and I was only given a very short time, right? So live news. And they asked me, what are the skills you need to learn? So I said there are 5 core skills you need to learn. And if you are not learning these 5 core skills, you're always operating way below your potential. And it doesn't matter what unless you master these 5 core skills, it doesn't matter what you master. You'll always be performing below your true potential. And this was my discovery, self-discovery. And what I realized, these are 5 core skills. And this is also I mentioned in my book, is the ability to connect. Go and meet someone, talk to them, and connect with them, or even in a group of people. The ability to communicate, opening your mouth and say what you want to say. The ability to network. Most people think network is a very negative term, but what I mean by network is people are ready to help you when you need help, because you have helped them when you needed help, when they needed help. So you're just bringing people together. And I'm an introvert. I'm not the guy who will go to a party and be the center of attraction of the party. But I'm now well networked. But the way to network is not that complicated, but this is a skill you need to learn. Now, the next one is you need to lead. You need to take a team of people and work with them. Get others to work. You can't achieve your big goals alone. It's not possible. You need to get a team behind. And of course, you need to be able to sell. So one of the inspiration for me to learn public speaking a long time ago was Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is the world's richest investor. And he said the best investment he made was in public speaking. Because public speaking is where you have all these skills come into play as well. And of course, recently when I was interviewed on CNBC, I was lucky enough and fortunate enough, they quoted both me and Warren Buffett in the same article in CNBC. I was like, wow. So they put his photo. Okay, not my photo, his photo, but both of us. So it was good. So these are the 5 core skills you need to learn. And how much time does it take to learn? People ask you, I am so afraid to speak. I'm afraid to connect. When I go to networking event, I don't know what to do. I believe this is a skill anyone can master. I believe anyone sitting in the audience can be on this stage speaking. If you just turn a switch in your head, that means you develop the skill. How much time does it take to master? My research shows if you invest 20 minutes every day, these are skills you can master. But most of us are so busy and in the busyness of life that we don't get time to invest in ourselves, right? And this is not by, I'm just not picking that. I do coaching, so I time myself to getting someone from a nervous person to on the stage. In fact, one of the closing keynote speakers is my student. And there are a lot of things is possible, okay? It's not, so some of you have attended my program, the Executive Transformation Program, where I take people 100 days, you are there and you are speaking here within the 100 days, and 20 minutes a day, that's all. So a lot of times you do not understand the importance of this, not that you cannot do it. And I encourage you, especially if you're a business owner or if you are vying for a next level in organization, this is the skill you have to master. I was talking to Jit behind. Next day there was a wealth summit, and ticket price very high, right? And so I don't know, $1,000, $2,000, something like that. So I said, what's it? Just be the MC. You get in, you get paid for the job, and you attend the seminar for free, and you meet the speakers backstage. And that's what I did for one of my friends, and they gave me a speaking slot also. So, and the point is, this is easier than you think. Okay? So, okay. Now, next one. This is a sun. What is this? Oh, just imagine the sun, okay? This is the sun, S-U-N, okay, sun. And sun, in the middle of the sun, what happens? The nuclear explosion, right? That's what the light energy, everything's emitted. My question is this. How fast does a light particle travel? This is from your physics class in high school. How fast does a light particle travel? Light, what's the speed of light? Sorry. What's that? 35 meters per second? Light. Okay. Yes? Guess. Very slow, very fast. Wow, there's an engineer here. Okay, give me a round of applause. Right answer. So I Googled it. Is right? Okay. My question is this. A light particle that starts in the middle of the sun, how much time does it take to travel from the middle of the sun to the outer atmosphere of the sun? It's traveling at 300 million meters per second. How fast does it take? To give you an example, after it leaves the edge of the sun, it takes 8 minutes to reach Earth. Okay? 8 minutes 34 seconds to reach Earth. How much time does it take from the center to reach the outer surface? Just guess. Traveling at 300 million. Yes? Yeah? A nanosecond? Yes? Yes? No right or wrong answer. I didn't know the answer earlier. Okay. Before I wrote the book. Okay. Yes? 3 seconds? Yes? Just say something. 10 seconds. What? 2 seconds. Yes? This side? What's that? 30 seconds. That's what we will imagine because it's traveling at 300 million meters per second. But what happens, it takes close to 1 million years to reach the surface, the edge of the surface. So 100,000 to, it's a very large number. I believe it's close to 1 million years. Definitely more than 100,000, right? Different, but reason is it doesn't go in a straight line. It goes in this kind of a zigzag line, which is called, in the scientific term for that is called random walk. It goes in a random walk. It gets reflected with the sun's atmosphere. So it goes in circles, and it takes a long time to come to the surface before it can go out into the solar system. What I say is, if you are trying to achieve everything you want to do by yourself, you're doing a random walk. So one thing to ask is, are you doing a random walk or are you doing a guided run? You know exactly where you want to go and you're going exactly where. And the people who can help you are what I call king makers. Every king was surrounded by king makers, people who help them be the king. My question to you to think is, who are your king makers? Who is helping you to achieve your dream? This could be anyone, mentors, team members, friends. Who is helping you? Who is showing you the way and how are you? So it doesn't matter how busy you are. It doesn't matter how fast you do. It doesn't matter how many hours you work. Unless and until you are in the right direction where you want to go and you're getting the right help, you could probably be wasting your time. Just a question. This was very profound for me that I dedicated an entire chapter on my book on this, because this is something, the one reason I went from nowhere to the World Championship Public Speaking and to be number one was I was networking with the world number one speakers. And I give due credit to everyone who mentored me, as it's not possible. At least maybe I could have taken another 100 years if I lived that long. So that's the point. Now the last question. What about the mouse? What happened to the mouse? Yes? Yes? What's that? You don't know, yes? Lived happily ever after. Yes, sir. Yeah? So like, why? Because it's single. Lived ever after. Come on. Okay. Yes? Yes? Oh, okay. It's king of the house. Nice. Do you know me before? I think you can mind read. That's what I written in the next. You see, here's the. Okay, I put my book on his hand also, right? So that's what I said. The mouse became the boss of the house. What did the mouse do to become the boss of the house? What did he do to dominate that house? What made him the boss? Yeah? Okay, that's one. That's well tried. What else? What did he do? What did he do to deserve to be the boss of the house? Yes? He killed everyone off. Yeah, okay, yeah. So that's one strategy. Basically, he didn't do much. He didn't do anything. That's the point. Sometimes you don't have to do anything to be the boss. That's why so somebody said, now I know how my boss got that promotion. Seriously, sometimes you don't do anything. You just have the right place at the right time. Right? Opportunities fall on your lap. But the question is, so what I say is, you are never, so that's a picture with all the animals on the wall. Somebody drew this picture for me. And the mouse hole is for rent, not to let. So the point is, you are never too small to be big. It doesn't matter where you start. You're never too small to be big. But the question is, when those opportunities arrive, are you staying ready? Are you willing to take the chance? Are you ready to lead? And that's the thought I want you to have. Doesn't matter where you start. Doesn't really matter. We are in this time and age where you can get a lot of things done, connect with anyone in the world, because most people are on social media. You can connect with anyone in the world and get help and get things done. That's the beauty of this age. A lot of people say a lot of things won't change, but every time there's a risk and an opportunity. You should look at the risk, but do not forget the opportunity. Yeah? So, with that, going back to the Nokia thing, what could Nokia have done to become number one? Remain number one? Capital opportunity? Yes? What else? Don't be complacent. Maybe you're doing already very good in your life. Always think what's your next level. At least stay ready, stay ready for what's coming. Watch out for the trends. Stay ready. Don't like panic when you see risk. Look at the opportunity and get ready for it, okay? Sorry? Embrace a change and there will always be opportunity. This is the best time to live. People say, oh, there's a lot of problems. You watch news, you see a lot of... Actually, this is the best time to live in the history of mankind. So we have far less conflicts. So 100 years ago, there was World War I, then World War II. There's a lot of other things happening. It's actually one of the most peaceful time on earth and the best opportunity to live. And of course, when you read news, you will have a totally different perspective of the world because you're seeing the same people, same news, analyzing. And just now when I went to the restroom, I saw a message on Facebook. It was in Spanish. I had to translate. It was a viral post, and there was a comment in Spanish. So I had to translate. And the guy said, I'm addicted to reading comments. Because I'm so addicted to reading comments, I lost my wife, lost my job, lost my... something like that. But it's true, because I was also reading the comments. Right? So a lot of time wasting thinking about what other people are doing, and that actually wires us to think in certain different ways. So ask yourself, what fence are you sitting on? What action are you waiting to take next year, or the next year, or the next year? And as I said, you can join me on the webinar. I will help you to plan absolutely free of cost. Whoever is interested, right? And you already got the website for them. And if you are joining this program, I will be more than happy to help you get to the next level in the 5 core skills. You talk to Stella. So with that, I want to tell you something, is that remember, you are never too small to be big, but always remember to take action. Thank you.